Do we need an intro?
We could. I don't know. Let's just.
Hey,
we
how are
can
ya?
Just jump into it.
Yeah, you should do an intro. It's Rory.
No, not like
okay,
that.
that's great.
No,
Yeah,
not
all
like
right.
Yes.
Okay, that's absolutely going to be the beginning.
Well, hello. Hi. My name is Michael Stevens. I'm just calling because I wanted to report to you that I said hello, and I ran into Daniel Jarman, and, you should totally call me back, and we're best friends, and yay, goodbye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your applause. Yeah. Holla. It's about to go down. Shut them down. Just Blaze. Freeway.
How are we doing this?
Well, all right. Before we do anything, Larissa, you're gonna have to look.
I'm
You're
not
gonna look at
doing
our.
it.
You're gonna look at our teams.
Larissa.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes. Just record that. No. We'll throw it in.
All
Say
right.
a bear. That could be like a drop.
Yeah, just.
No. Might drop it.
All right, so Larissa, here are our team names. I just want you to look through. You just sit up and look at them. That's all you have to do. You can stop being lazy.
I'm trying to figure out my plans for tomorrow.
What plans?
So here are the team names. Which the one you like the best so far?
I haven't read them.
Which one you just laugh at?
Who let Hanks and play? Oh, what's your team name?
Take a guess.
The Ice Baby.
No, that's not me.
Who is that?
That's Matt Falton.
That's a good one.
Roy, I like your team name. You suck on that.
Yeah, you like
Ween
Nicholas.
That's yours?
It's ridiculous. It's purely ridiculous.
What's the mock McGarty thing?
Mock Gardy is mock drafts.
His team's not that good.
Ryan does a lot of those.
But there's two teams like that.
Yeah, BJ got all like poetic. To Kill a Mockingbird. He thought he was brilliant. He texted me, he was like, "Bro, what do you think about that team name?" He asked you that? Yeah, I was like,
He spent me and him.
Oh, what's yours?
Airing my dirty land. There's a player called Jarvis.
I know.
Oh, you know Jarvis Landry, huh?
I knew Landry.
she's like definitely we're receiver too.
Definitely a WR too at this point.
And he used to play for the
So,
Knicks.
alright, let's hear what else you like. Just go through them. Tell us what your top 3 favorites are and your least favorite.
Who's a snaggle?
Tom Hinkson's jaw.
Yeah.
Who let Hankson play?
Tom.
Phil's the money team.
Yep.
Of course. That's a good one.
Who's are ready for some football?
It's Hinkson, but football, because like soccer.
Yeah.
You got it?
I got it.
Oh, that's what his team name is?
I like Ice
No,
Ice
seriously, I
Baby.
just-
The best.
Okay.
You like, okay.
That's the best one.
Which one's the best one?
Ice Ice Baby.
Do you like mine?
Taking that
No.
Why?
Yours is the
thought you were
worst.
taking that one.
I think Royce is the best.
What's the serpent?
That's the best. That's the best. That's
Gorilla.
clearly the best.
What was it before? Oh yeah,
I'll give you a hint, Larissa. He's murdered 14 people.
I know.
I know he's murdered people.
Yeah, I've seen it. What?
I don't have a worst. My favorite one's the Ice Ice Baby.
And do you not like mine because that's what you're gonna give to me later?
But what is the point of it? Like what?
I can't wait for this question. What's the point of what?
The name.
My name?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's the point of it?
Sometimes when you
Like
mean
where
weed,
did
see
you
the
get
nipples.
it? Like
Sometimes
I don't know where you
when
got it
things are
either.
getting hot and heavy, you want to just have a couple ween nibbles. Like nibble on my ween.
You're the worst team name, Roy. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't want to rank a worst. That's my favorite.
That's nice of you. Alright, and maybe we'll record you talking about this later?
No.
Alright. Yeah, maybe. We just recorded that whole thing. So what do you got?
Alright, bros.
Alright, so I guess we'll go from the least to the best. So we'll start with 12 and then end with 1.
Okay. I'm putting mine in order right now.
So, alright. You're putting, what are you doing?
I was just typing them in order so I don't have to keep looking at my phone.
Oh, okay. Alright, so who do you have at number 12? Who's dead last?
So, dead last in the power rankings, I've got Dan Jarman.
Nervous.
If you look at Jarman's team, this team is dog shit, kind of says it all. Look, he's got Aaron Rodgers, who obviously is probably the best quarterback in the league. Then he's got Steve Smith kind of holding up, his wide receiving core, because then Mike Evans hasn't done much, and Torrey Smith, I mean, I don't think he should even be on a roster.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the team that he's on is awesome and pretty cool, but he himself isn't doing that great.
Right. And Marshawn Lynch, I mean, as the number 1 pick in the 4 spot or the 5 spot that Jarman drafted in, I don't know if I would have taken him there.
I don't know. I kind of feel like you have to do something with Tyrod, spin him, or I don't know. What do you a running back maybe or a wide? No, you need a wide.
I mean, I think Jarman could use help in a few spots. I mean, I think he's going to have to hope that Marshawn comes back around and the Seattle offense figures things out. Jonathan Stewart, hopefully he's going to be okay also. So if I was him, I'd probably be looking for a wide receiver. Tight end, once Delaney Walker gets off his bye, he should be fine. But he doesn't have much depth. You're right. He's got a backup quarterback that's worth something.
He should probably just lose to the team he's playing this week, ideally.
So who's he playing this week? I have no idea.
A very good team.
All right. So speaking.
So do you agree? Do you agree that Jarman's in the basement?
I have a tie.
You have a tie.
So I have no number 12. I have 2 number 11.
So is Jarman one of your?
Which brings me to my other dead last, which is Mock Rarty. I was pretty clear. It's definitely not spiteful at all for all the shit talk in the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I guess maybe his team name should just be Karma. Maybe you should change his team name to Karma.
Maybe you should.
McGraw's team I actually don't think is that bad. I just think it's underperforming a little bit, and Brandon Cooks has gone from wide receiver 2 to just hanging out in the flex right now.
Yep. Your
team isn't bad. It's just you're in 12th place, so I couldn't put you much higher than 11. So
I can't blame you, man.
I think that McGraw's team is underperforming. I mean, I think Carson Palmer was the pickup of the draft as late as he went, because he's probably going to finish. Going to finish as a top 5 quarterback by the end of the year, assuming that he doesn't get hurt. Ty and Allen Robinson and Golden Tate and Brandon Cooks. I mean, if you drafted the 4 of them, you're probably pretty happy about it. But so far this season hasn't really panned out.
I mean,
and then
Golden Tate's on the trading block.
And you have to be, anytime you can roster 3 mediocre tight ends, you should be pretty psyched about where your team's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think McGraw's team will fare better as the season goes on. Adrian Peterson's going to put up numbers. Amir Abdullah should only get better. Cooks maybe will figure something out on the Saints, but for right now he's still kind of sitting in the basement. I've got him actually a little bit higher in my power rankings because I think he'll do better.
Paul, how many?
Fuck you, Roy.
You're on how many beers did you have already, Paul?
I've had a few.
Okay, yeah, all right, that makes more sense.
How good did that make you feel, bro?
It made me feel great.
Yeah.
To throw you right in the basement. Yeah.
So who do you have next then?
All right, so for my bottom 2 teams, I have Jarman and McGraw tied for last. I wrote McGraw's name first because I feel like his team is worse. And then 10th, I have Dom's team.
Yes,
Odell Snaggle.
Yeah, how do you feel about his Dom's team?
Not a fan of the QB situation. Just because it's I never like having 2 guys that you're not sure who to start week to week. I think I'd rather have Russell Wilson, but
I mean, I would think that if I was Dom, that I probably drafted Russell Wilson thinking that he was going to be my starter, and took Eli kind of in the later rounds thinking, well, with Odell and with Cruz coming back, that he might blow up and have a better season. But the way Russell's been playing so far, it is kind of a toss-up, to your point. But I think he's, like you said, he's kind of stuck in that situation. I don't think that either of them are really worth anything to trade for unless someone was really gung-ho on one of them. So he's just going to be stuck in that quarterback conundrum for the season. Where he's really struggling is his running back situation. He definitely drafted C.J. Anderson figuring he was going to be a money.
C.J. Anderson's probably the bust of the draft, no?
He might be. Yeah. C.J. Anderson might be
first
the bust of the
pick?
Draft so far.
When did Dom take him overall?
First, 6th or 7th,
yeah.
or to whatever the back end of the first round.
And he crushed it last year too.
I don't know.
I can't blame Dom for that pick because I kind of like C.J. Anderson as the 6th or 7th running back off the board, but it just hasn't panned out the right way. The Broncos have been kind of funky this year. I mean, Peyton's putting up enough numbers, and Demaryius is getting his, and Emmanuel is too, I guess. But
do you think it doesn't help that his picture is of McGraw, who is currently in dead last? This actually brings me to a point I want to bring up. Do you think that it's right to have your team name, if you're going to use a player's name, you should have to have that player on your roster? This is coming from the guy who has airing my dirty Landry and doesn't roster.
No, I don't think so at all. I think
He's not on your team?
No.
Oh my god. god.
I don't
I
think
think
the
that settles it.
I agree
know.
100%. I
think-
agree 120% actually.
Larissa, the authority on fantasy football names.
Thank you.
No, I don't think so
I would
because
agree.
I think the fantasy football team name is like a whole nother contest. So if you're able to come up with something that's pretty creative, regardless of how your draft goes, and I think you should name your team before the draft starts. Regardless of how the draft goes. I mean, I think that's a whole
Did you
nother
at
game.
least try to get him?
No,
Did you make up that team name on your own, or did you pull it?
I did. No, I can't. Please, I don't pull my team names from anywhere.
Woo!
That's all me.
I mean, I'm looking
Okay.
at the hair, and I tend to agree with everything you say. So.
That's right.
Okay, that's fair. All right, next up, who do you have at number 9? I think this is where we start to we're a little bit different here.
Number 9, I've got Matt Faltings.
Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. We have the exact same.
I had McGroat. Actually, we haven't hit McGroat yet on my list because like I said, I think he's underperforming the most. But I have Matt Faltings next.
I love you, both.
If you look at Faltings' team, I mean, until this week, I mean, now that Eric Decker's back, his wide receiver core looks a little bit better. But last week he had Pierre Garçon, Marcus Wheaton, and Quincy Inuit from the Jets.
No, wait, hold on.
Whatever
Who was
his-
that? I'm sorry, Paul. Who was
Quincy Inuit.
that? Okay.
I mean, you just look at those three and you think to yourself, I wouldn't be starting any of them. So that's
You
pretty.
wouldn't start Garçon?
At this point,
I
I
don't
like
know that
Garçon.
I
I
I like
would.
actually,
Garçon, man.
I
I
don't
think
like.
he's alright. I think Garçon is alright.
He's like an okay low wide receiver 3/flex.
I'd say 2, 3. I mean, we start
He's
3
not a
receivers in this
2.
league too. Well,
I
we
don't
start
think-
3 receivers, man. I mean, that's it's hard to field 3 solid receivers.
I think Dez going down, Deshaun going down.
Well, right.
I actually
No, and
don't want
that's-
Deshaun. Injuries kind of like screwed him.
Faltings is who took Des? Yeah.
Fallings took
Crushes
Dez.
him. That hurts.
Deshaun got hurt, but I told him this too. I think that Deshaun going down helps him
Garçon,
decide to put
immensely.
Garçon in,
Because you can't have 2 receivers on the same team.
unless it's a
That
Peyton Manning
kills-
or
or Green Bay.
And I think my ranking of Falting's team is just kind of his situation at the moment because that wide receiving core is hurting. I think his running backs will improve. I mean, look, he's got Forsett, Ingram, and Randall. I think they'll all be okay. For having 3 running backs, they should all be pretty decent. Martellus Bennett, depending on when Cutler comes back, should
Solid,
be fine
yeah.
also. So I just think it's a matter of timing for Faltings.
All right, so who are your bottom 4 right now? And I'll give you my bottom 4.
So my bottom 4 are Jarman, Dom, Faltings, and McGroat.
Okay, yeah, all right. So I think we have the same bottom 4, just in a different order. I have, like I said, McGroat and Jarman tied for dead last, leaning more towards McGroat. Then Dom, and then Matt. All right, so we have the same bottom 4,
So
just
we
in a
agree on the
different
bottom
order.
4, yeah.
All right, at number 8, who you got?
I've got Hinkson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you have?
For me, I have Joey, and the only reason why I differ than you is because I think Hinkson's best player, was suspended the first 2 games, and it's his
Le'Veon's
number
a
2
stud.
overall pick. I like that he has. I hated Cam before the year, and I'm going through Hinkson's team right now.
Yeah.
Cam, I liked Cam. The least out of any top 10 quarterback, but he's doing well. Fitz is killing it. His receivers he's got some issues at receiver.
You gotta be worried about Fitz though, because you think he's gonna keep this up all year.
No,
'Cause
no,
I don't.
no. Neither.
Right.
I wouldn't.
He's
I didn't
gonna
want
crash
to
back down to earth, man. The guy has 5 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. But he is killing it, and Carson Palmer makes him. I mean, he was the best receiver in the league 5 years ago. You know,
He has
4 years ago, 5 years ago.
the only thing he has the issue that I hate to have, which we just went over with Dom's team, is he has 2 starting quarterbacks, and every week you don't know which one to start. He has Cam and Matt Ryan.
I mean,
Should have flipped that in a trade.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm good at quarterbacking, but your running backs.
I would think that unlike you compare it to Dom's situation. I think Dom's got more middle of the road quarterbacks, whereas I think Hinkson has 2 quarterbacks that could definitely finish in the top 10 this year and should finish in the top 10.
One of them holds
So
value.
I would be flipping one of them to improve
Yeah, just like
somewhere
a couple
some other
ideas,
spot
like
on my roster.
maybe like Matt Ryan to McGraw's team for T.Y. Hilton. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of McGraw's team because his team is so putrid. You might want to try to get him to do something better.
Well, I know a guy that's hurting for a quarterback right now is Michael Barilla because he had Ben Roethlisberger who was out and just started Michael Vick this week. That might be a guy I would talk to.
It's true. The only thing is
point.
when you text Brill looking for trade offers, you just get back a text
picture
just
of
saying
blood.
like a
On a
bloody
tarp.
knife and a picture of a tarp.
Yeah, he prefers blue. Ironically,
All right, let's save this because he's coming up.
Oh yeah, good.
His SERP is all right. Let's go through. You have Hinks and I have Joey at number 8.
And I had Joey next.
Okay, and I have Hinks. All right, so we're
So
flip
we
flop. I have Hinks
flip-flopped
at
on
7,
Joey.
Joey at 8. You have it. Okay. All right.
So Joey's team, you look at his wide receiver core. I'd put that up against any wide receiver core in the rest of the league.
What is it?
Calvin, Amari, and Keenan.
Calvin's underperforming a little bit, no?
No, but as a, I mean, with the two of those guys, I mean, combined, and then even his flex. I mean, he's got John Brown. I mean, it's not a bad fourth wide receiver to have either. The problem with him is DeMarco's really underperforming for where he was drafted. Carlos Hyde, I think, is going to end up being a really good value pickup.
Okay, I was going to say, careful with what you're saying right now, because
no, I think he's going to end up outperforming where he was actually drafted.
Kaepernick's awesome.
Let's relax.
So I think Joey's team, even though he's 1-2 at the moment, I kind of think he's underperforming a little bit too. Once DeMarco Murray gets going, if his team stays healthy, I think he'll be someone to reckon with. No, you disagree.
You know what it is? I hate Philly, just anyone on that team right now.
Because they all suck.
Yeah, not
the whole offense sucks. Jordan Matthews is actually doing pretty good.
And I don't like hamstring stuff. DeMarco has a hamstring thing, and I just hate I feel like that stuff lingers forever.
Not to got 400 plus touches last year.
I think it's still a question whether or not DeMarco gets on track. But if he does, then I think Joey's team is.
You have to be encouraged with Ryan Matthews doing pretty good last week.
But he doesn't have Ryan Matthews.
No, but I'm just saying.
Some moron. Who has him? Who has Ryan Matthews?
Couldn't tell you.
This guy does.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and Joey just picked up, and this could be clutch. He just picked up Charles Johnson, who was like my flex third wide receiver, and has been doing garbage.
Yeah, I mean,
he's trash. And I just dropped him out of the league. He's trash.
As much as Leonard Hankerson was probably a good pickup, depending on Jeff Janis is like the fourth wide receiver on the Packers.
I would probably get rid of Jeff Janis.
Probably go
or trade him to McGraw for T.Y. Hilton.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely. I'd accept that.
Yeah. All right. So
that's Joey.
So all right. So then, who do you have at 6?
Then I have Barilla. Serpents.
All right. So I think this will probably be going down soon because Roethlisberger. That's going to really hurt his team, and he just started Michael Vick. Actually, who got 12 points, which isn't bad.
It's not good.
Nope. It's not good.
What quarterback's on the waiver wire right now?
Not many.
I actually was looking at a backup because when I saw that Luck had an injury, I freaked out, and Bridgewater isn't great. So there's almost nobody.
Literally, the only reasonable quarterback that I think is still on the wire is Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
You know, if he wakes up after the first 3 weeks, which I mean
Bradford.
hasn't happened yet. But look at Barilla's team. I mean, you know, obviously AJ Green's a stud. Jeremy Hill has really underperformed so far, but still, I think Jeremy Hill will be okay. I think he'll turn it around. Alfred Morris, I'd be real scared about because I think Matt Jones just going to keep stealing touches.
He has actually. I didn't realize this till just now. He has 3 Bengals, so you're kind of like your team is you're banking on them being good, which so far they are. Another thing you can do, Michael Brill, if you're listening to this, is you can just go ahead and drop the New Orleans Saints defense for anything. If there's just like a slice of ham on the waiver wire, just use that. Yeah. Their defense is trash.
Rob Ryan, most overrated defensive coordinator in the league.
Their points per game so far: week 1, 1 point; week 2, 7 points; week 3, 7 points, which actually is not as bad as the -4 that some moron in last place threw up with their defense last week. They'll remain unnamed.
Not to mention Terrence West, who's like the 4th string running back on the Tennessee Titans. I mean, he could probably go too.
Yeah, that's true. You could probably those are 2 guys you could get rid of. All right, so we both have him at 6, right? So now we go to number 5. Who do you have at number 5?
Because I have you at number 5.
Yeah, okay. So the best looking guy and probably the best resume fantasy wise we're up to. Looking not so great. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not feeling great about my team.
What don't you like about your team?
Andrew Luck being hurt and just blowing. I think he was my second round. Second round. Yeah.
You took him over Rodgers.
I did.
How's that feel?
I think that was a toss-up in the draft. Luck and Rodgers.
Yeah, it paid out one way a little bit.
I mean, it didn't. No, it's not working out.
I love Jeremy Maclin and Vincent Jackson, who have done garbage. Except Jeremy Maclin helped me out this week to
he looked pretty good.
To slap a little karma in the face of McGrarty. Ivory, man, if he's just healthy, I'm cool with that.
Here's what I want to know: how pissed were you last week
when Ivory had 0
when he was
points?
active but he didn't play?
How pissed was he?
We were playing.
How pissed was he? Rory, the guy who Maclin doesn't touch the ball for 2 quarters and a half. And then, let me get a 50-yard reception, touchdown, 60-yard reception, done for the game. Unreal.
So to answer your question, Paul.
Yeah, let's answer Paul's question.
I was a little mad. We were playing golf, and I was freaking out.
I just assumed you were livid.
I was.
It's a little cranky.
Thankfully, I was playing McGroat, who had Ivory in
That's
other
that
leagues, so
anger.
it was okay.
Yeah, it is that anger. You're right. Or you should stop being so angry.
I'm gonna have to raise my hand to you, Loris.
Yeah.
Roy, you didn't draft Ray Rice. Stop that.
Do you know that today, that September...
I'm sitting up because, okay, let's...
September is the only month in 6 years that an NFL player wasn't arrested.
Yes.
We were talking about.
Saw
Look
that.
at you. Where'd you hear that?
This new app on the phone, News,
Okay.
came up today.
You got
I
that
thought that was interesting.
It is.
It is interesting. The NFL's making a lot of progress.
Yeah, so another thing I hate about my team is wide receiver depth, not a lot there, and starting running back depth, which is like 0. But
You know, I think in a league like ours with 12 teams and deep benches, it's hard to get a lot of depth anywhere. I actually think you have somewhat reasonable running back depth, in compared relatively so.
wide receiver not. You know
Wide
actually,
receiver, I would say not wide receiver only because, well, look, you got Stevie Johnson sitting on the bench. He's not a bad guy to have there, but beyond him, it's a little tough. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Macklin or Vincent Jackson. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is turning out to be better than I would have anticipated.
I didn't want him at all, and he's
with
been
Ryan Mallett or whomever.
He's been.
thrown
Let's
to
just
him.
say he's been nibbling on some weens the first couple weeks.
Right, and I know you probably drafted Jordan Cameron thinking he was going to be a top 10 tight end this year, but sure enough, he's proving to be injured consistently again.
Sure enough, or show enough.
Show enough.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough spot.
Yeah, I think that I'm perfectly. I think 5 is where I should be ranked, and probably where I'm going to be the most of the year. Just not great, but just kind of hanging in there, unless something.
I think that's accurate.
All right, 4. Who you got at 4? Because I think our top 4 are identical.
I have Phil.
I do too. I think 3-0. He should be 2-1. Thanks to me, he got that win because Lacey, Ivory, and Luck put up a combined, I think, 19 points, and Phil won by less than a point, which, hey, I deserve. I think I've won both championships. I've won 2 championships by, I think, less than a point combined. So BJ's somewhere, like, eating nails or smashing something, listening to this. But, yeah.
Definitely eating
Yeah,
nails.
so, all right, so Phil, enough about me.
Here's the thing about Phil's team. I think Drew Brees is not going to have the season that he's used to having because Jimmy Graham's not around.
Who's the backup quarterback?
Marcus
Mariota, in the words of
Which,
Roger Goodell.
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Mariota has more points than Brees by the end of the year going forward.
Very bold statements.
Look, he's got 2, obviously.
Paul, do you want to make a blowjob bet? Loser gives
bet.
the other a blowjob. I bet that
What's the
you think
bet?
Mariota is going to have more points than Breeze by the end of the year if they both play the same amount of games.
From here forward?
If they both play the same amount of games, I think Breeze will have more points. Blowjob bet.
That's weird.
I'll take it.
Paul just took a
I'll
blowjob.
take,
All right.
I'll take the
Fag.
blowjob bet.
Okay. All right, it's a bet.
But look at, I mean...
No, it's a bet.
No, I
Just
agree.
get
I'm
those
agreeing
lips
on the
ready.
bet.
Get those lips ready. My
Mariota
between-
over Breeze.
Between Julio Jones and Odell Beckham, Phil has...
Wait a minute. What are you? We're still talking about this blowjob
thought we
bet
just
made.
got past
I know,
it.
but
We agreed on it.
Okay.
So,
All right.
it's
I want to make
been,
sure that
it's
we're
been
all on the
set.
same. Okay.
Julio and
set.
Odell is
From week
monstrous.
4 forward, even though Mariota's on bye this weekend. So it'll include Breeze's
we have
bye.
to go. Yeah, I guess if they have to play the same amount of games.
Yeah, fine. Deal. Between Julio Jones and Odell Beckham
Totally
Jr.,
suck your dick, bro.
Phil has probably 2 top 5 wide receivers right there, arguably, depending on how the rest of the year goes.
I think Julio's
But
gonna be the
then,
best in the NFL.
beyond the 2 of those guys, I don't know who I'm envious of that Phil has. I mean, not envious of Allen Hurns. Doug Martin, no thank you. TJ Yeldon, no thank you. Jimmy Graham, I mean, see you later. The only guy who he's got on his next best player is Deion Lewis, who he picked up off the waiver wire, and he'll be fine the rest of the year. But aside from that, I don't know who's scaring me.
Week 17 is Sunday, January 3rd. If you were wondering when the date you're going to be owing me a blow, Jay. So that'll be
Okay.
Sunday, January 3rd.
Let me mark that on my calendar.
Yeah, and there's no... actually, no, a game will be flexed into the night game, so it's probably going to be like around midnight that you will officially be,
Okay,
ironically enough, nibbling on my ween. All right.
sounds good to me.
All right, so, yeah, running back-wise, losing Tevin Coleman kind of hurts, especially because when he comes back, Devontae
back,
Freeman.
though.
But if
Yeah, but he
it
might not
becomes
even
a
have a
split now,
job.
because Coleman was the guy, if it becomes a split, not that he would lose his job, but it becomes
He's
more of a
still gonna
split.
get touches.
It's the same problem with Ellington when he comes back.
Well, he's gonna get broken again.
Yeah, you just kind of gotta hope you were able to trade him before he comes back.
No, I don't think there's much else to say about Phil's team.
He's three
I
Titans.
think he's got.
He has three Titans, which is I don't know.
Who are the three? Delaney, Kendall Wright,
Kendall Wright,
Mariota,
Bishop Sankey.
Who's
probably not even going to be the starting running back for the Titans for the rest
No,
of the
and
year.
I just picked up David Cobb, hoping that after week 9 he's the guy. And then
I think the Titans have like
Antonio
4.
Andrews probably the best.
I think Jarman just picked him up, which could be good.
The
But
Titans have
Titans.
4 guys who they're like not sold on, and they're just rotating all 4 of them. I wouldn't want any piece of any of that. I don't think there's much else to say about Phil's team. I think he's got 3 or 4 guys that scare you, and aside from that, not too.
All right, so
in his defense, Julio will be the best receiver.
I think he will easily. Yeah,
I think so.
All right, so we both have Phil at 3. Excuse me, at 4. So who's your third team?
So my third team is actually BJ.
All right, I agree with you. This is the first time BJ's been in the top 5 of fantasy league since I think the Reagan administration. He was in I think a 2-year tailspin after he lost to me in the championship.
It really messed with him.
Yeah, it did. When you lose a game like that, it definitely mentally it takes you out. Honestly, I think that he drafted very well. I really wanted Matt Jones, and he got Matt Jones.
He drafted him?
He drafted Matt Jones because I would have drafted him. Yeah, he's got some wide receiver issues, which. I mean,
where are they?
Listen, he doesn't.
So he has his 3 wide receivers in right now are Emmanuel Sanders,
Beast.
That's a beast. Dante Moncrief, I love him.
Yeah,
so those guys, that's then your third wide receiver.
You think that's a 1 and 2, right? Receiver 1, receiver 2.
Yep.
Right.
So absolutely. And then his third wide receiver, he has Travis Benjamin in now, but that's only because Watkins is out
and Aguilar is
Nelson Aguilar's been just.
Aguilar's been garbage.
Yeah, but
Watkins scares you, but T-Mobile's I don't know.
I don't like Watkins. I like Watkins as a talent, but I don't like him week to week because
he's one of those guys. He's a good guy, like he's a good player, but
he's all right. So his points this year,
fantasy-wise, maybe not.
0 in week 1, 15 in week 2,
he got shut out
4 last week. So it's like you don't. I just hate that. That's like the Marcus Colston. Vincent Jackson normally is like that. He's got Freeman. Love that. For now,
until Tevin comes back.
Yeah, but hey, you get 40 points from
Animal.
I think he's got a decently well-rounded team, with some if a couple guys step up. Look, if LaShawn McCoy does what he's supposed to do, if Sammy Watkins or Nelson Aguilar does what he's supposed to do,
I like that his backup quarterback is Derek Carr because I think at some point this season Peyton Manning will become a guy that you shouldn't start. Yeah, and I think that
Derek Carr's up and coming, man.
I actually looked to pick him up recently, and BJ already scooped him.
Yeah.
Unless I don't think you drafted him. I think you picked him up. All right. Number 2.
Number 2, I have myself, and I.
Which Larissa has already chastised you for not having
Jarvis Landry. That's fine. I'm okay with
that. All right. Well, okay, all right. Brady's on a bye. I was about to say. I think, in my opinion, no offense to the number 1 team, I think you have the best team this year. I think
thank
Paul.
you.
I think.
I don't know how you can argue against Tom at this point. But
I think Tom is the best team. But
we haven't even gotten to number 1. You gotta relax, Paul. We haven't even gotten to number 1. We don't know who's number 1 is yet.
These 2 are the best teams, no doubt.
All right, so flaws in your team, not many. James Jones. Well, I think James Jones was probably the pick of the season so far. Right?
Pick up of the season.
Yeah, pick up.
On the waiver?
Yeah, I did not draft
waiver
him.
pick up. Who else?
He's your receiver 3 right now?
Yeah.
And he's touchdown dependent so far, but still, Devontae's hurt.
This week he'll be the number
huge.
2. Yeah,
that's huge that Adams is hurt.
Running back wise, your Lance Dunbar's a good thing with PPR because I think you'd be in a little trouble. But then again,
well, he's a PPR machine.
Yeah, but then again, you have Arian Foster on the bench.
I've kind of been patching my running backs together because I picked up Ryan Matthews last week when I heard DeMarco was going to be out. That worked out, and then Ellington worked out the first week.
Who's your 1?
Jamal Charles.
Okay.
So Ellington worked out the first week. So then it was really just the second week where I kind of had to figure out who to plug in that spot, and it was Dunbar, who's been actually a PPR monster for the first 3 weeks.
I think Arian Foster is your
money. And yeah, as soon as Arian Foster comes back, which is hopefully this week,
just got hope no re-injury.
Put Charles and Foster in there. From what I've been reading,
he's an animal.
From what I've been reading, they're not going to bring him back until they think he's fully healthy, and I think. They trust him with that opinion. So,
number 1, this is probably gonna be a surprise to everyone. It's Hinkson. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's who let Hinkson play.
You.
Yeah, why did I let that happen?
I don't know.
He's too much. I don't know. Too much crying.
I mean, look, Tom ran into a little bit of bad luck with Tony Romo going out, but he had Andy Dalton to back him up, who's been playing pretty lights out.
I think
for the
Latavius Murray is
Latavious Murray, Frank Gore.
I think we're gonna look back.
Effect.
Yeah, we're gonna look back in like 4 weeks and say, and remember that we said that Paul said the phrase Andy Dalton is playing lights out, and we're all gonna have a giggle about that.
I said for the first 3 weeks.
No, I know. I'm not saying he is.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I mean, why Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't on BJ's roster right now?
I think that was something we didn't bring up. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have thrown that one in there. I mean, who's his quarterback right now? Peyton?
Yes, Peyton and Derek Carr, and Fitzpatrick is actually on the waiver wire. So
I mean,
he is.
That's.
I don't want to. Hey, I don't like to. As a commissioner, I don't like to make edicts and just make laws. But I feel like it should be Fitzpatrick should have to be on. Actually,
I think it needs to be. I think you need to put him on his team.
Put someone on his roster. So I think I might have to actually go in to the commissioner tools and put.
I'd say week 8 would probably be his best matchup, right? Or is it?
Well, you know what it is. It's after 6 games.
Oh, so week 7
he implodes. So if they have a bye week in between, then week 8 is probably gonna be that's gonna be the implosion week.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because I feel like, speaking of imploding, whatever BJ has just sanded or like grouted right now is being smashed.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably. All right. What the hell else are we gonna talk about?
Glory bros.
So let's run down the matchups for the week. I think that we should go through this in a more general format than player by player.
Okay, yeah. So want to start over?
Well, we don't start over.
Let's just start over.
Just cut that.
All right, yeah, I'll cut that. Tom's team. Tom and Mike matchup.
Tom and Mike.
So if you had to pick who was gonna win, who would you pick and
Tom?
Why?
I think Mike Vick crushes Barilla.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think just not having Roethlisberger hurts. It looks like Brilla's starting C.J. Spiller.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
It's your boy, Paul.
Yeah, but
you love C.J.
I do love Spiller. I still love him, but I wouldn't speak.
Gronk is on a bye.
Gronk's on a bye.
That hurts.
But
if I'm Tom,
wait, Barilla has it? No.
Eric Ebron is not a terrible fill-in for the week.
All. But he's going against Seattle.
I mean, I know Antonio Brown hurt Tom this week so far, but I would say that Percy Harvin's going to have a boost in production this week because Sammy Watkins is out.
Do you think Percy Harvin's that good?
I think that the Giants' defense is not that good, and I think that Percy Harvin is good enough to run through them.
Seattle D is going to help Tom. Gronk out is going to hurt a little bit, especially because what did Ebron? Did he even do anything last week? I don't think he did much. Yeah, actually no, he's been pretty solid. 13, 12, and 8. All right. And I would say Denver and Seattle have similar defenses. All right, so I still think Tom's going to win it. I'm picking Tom.
We all agree on Tom,
right? Are we agreeing on Tom? All right, Brilla's going to probably kill us all, but that's just our fantasy.
I'm shocked I haven't been killed yet.
Yeah, I feel like the second that we finish saying this right, even that we won't even post this, and Brillo's going to be outside my window.
He's crossing off our names like Steve Buscemi and Billy Mazzy.
With lipstick.
Yep.
So Phil plays Dom this week. Who do you have there?
All right, Vernon Davis is out. He's not out, but he's probably not going to play.
Vernon Davis sucks. He blows.
So
come on.
Dude, have you seen his Instagram? He looks so good without a shirt on.
So let's assume Dom plays Larry Donnell then, because
I would play Donnell normally ahead of Vernon probably. Does Brees start this week? He is, right?
Yes, he's going to play this week.
Crowell?
Yeah, I would probably throw Woodhead for Crowell and then throw someone else in the slot like
Jennings.
Yeah, or no, like Doug Baldwin or Bolden. Actually, no, what about Bolden?
Greg.
I would think if it was.
Is Kaepernick going to be like an NFL quarterback or is he going to be a fucking scrub?
Okay.
No,
but honestly, bro, you
watch the Cardinals game with that sentiment, bro.
Okay, bro.
All right, I know. If I'm Dom, I'm keeping the lineup he has in now. Except I'm taking out Andre Johnson, and I'm probably going to put in Bolden. I'd rather have Bolden than Andre Johnson.
I agree with that. And does potentially Dom take the shot that Marshawn Lynch isn't going to play and start Thomas Rawls on Monday night?
Game time decision. He's got both.
So instead of playing Isaiah Crowell?
No, I put Woodhead in for Kroll. And then I'm leaving my flex open. Oh, you know what he can do is he could do Baldwin and Rawls and then pick them at last.
Fair.
I would do that.
I would do that. I would totally do that. Yeah, in my flex.
Either ball. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'm still. Sorry, Dom. I'm picking Phil this week, though. Right? Who's picking who?
I'm pretty much. I'm kind of up in the air, but I'm taking Phil.
McGroat.
Phil.
I'm up in the air, but I'm going Phil.
All right. Yeah. I think we're all right.
I think
so
these
Phil
teams are
around.
actually more evenly matched than their records show.
All right. So third place, airing my dirty. I don't even have him on my roster. Landry
Versus Ice Baby. Got off to a bad start with Forsett having 15 points, but then again,
I
also
think
Marcus Wheaton had 2 points.
You're going to win this week. I think that nothing against faulting scenes, but his kicker's hurt, and he's got Stafford against Seattle, who hasn't been playing well anyway, and he got 2 points out of Marcus Wheaton. I think all that together, just seeing
Stafford crushes him versus Seattle.
I feel pretty confident.
I like Gospel.
I do feel pretty confident despite not having Brady
Alex
this week.
Smith. Yeah.
And in my lineup right now, I don't even have Arian Foster.
Brady, man.
We'll see if he plays.
Brady was a great pick by you.
Thank you.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right, so are we going
I'm going with myself.
a Paul sweep?
So
What do you
we've
think of
agreed. We've agreed on 3 matchups so far. Oh, sorry.
Do you know their beer?
No, you good.
I know.
All right, we're sweeping it.
All right, yeah. All right, BJ's up
BJ
next.
and Hinkson.
BJ, all right, yeah. I actually think
Le'Veon crushed 24.
Le'Veon had a
Anything
big
over
game.
20 is
Yeah.
crushing.
here's the wild card. Will Hinkson actually look at his team and realize that Alshon Jeffrey's probably not playing and make a switch?
Well,
Why
he
not?
may play this week. He's
But
questionable.
will Hinkson look at his team and realize that?
Oh, Hanks realizes that
Expected
Jay
to
Cutler
miss
is not
before.
starting.
He's not.
And who's the backup?
Jimmy Clausen?
Jimmy Clausen.
Yikes.
I like BJ just because Jeffrey might be hurt. Ruben Randall is starting, and he's definitely not going to duplicate what he did last week.
I think you'd be alright. What do you think about Gio Bernard? What the fuck is going on with Jeremy Hill, man?
Don't
Guy
know.
was projected to be a stud.
I think he's fumbled a lot, and he got hurt in the game that against the Chargers.
Gio is looking like a
He's been
great-
running. He's been running really well.
very good pickup.
PPR wise,
Been running really well.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, he outsnapped Hill last game, right?
yeah, he
Hill was
out-touched and out-gained Jeremy Hill in week 3.
Yeah, if they're in hurry up throwing mode, Gio's in, not Hill. That's part of their thing. But that shouldn't explain why Hill's been so bad.
What scares me of BJ's team is Peyton Manning. You know Peyton Manning's gonna fall off towards the end of the season. You know what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You'd rather have
Emmanuel Sanders is a legitimate stud.
You'd rather
Love
have
Emmanuel
him
Sanders.
now or like before week like 8ish, so you can know I'm putting in Carr instead of having his arm die in the playoffs.
Carr is a solid backup though.
Would you be saying Emmanuel Sanders was a stud if he didn't have 2 touchdowns in week 2?
How many catches does he have?
Whenever I watch a Broncos
Guy,
game,
22 catches over 3 weeks.
That's pretty good. That's what, 7 a week?
yeah,
8, 8, and 6.
and that's catches. That's not even targets.
Yeah, I mean he's a little, but Emmanuel Sanders was nice last year and he didn't get a lot of touchdowns. So
It's
I
all
think
about the
that-
eye test. Tell me whenever you see a Broncos game, Emmanuel Sanders is constantly catching the ball and making plays.
You're right.
All right, so I'm going BJ this week. I think BJ's going to win this. What do you
I think I'm going Hinkson.
Meow.
I'm going to go Hinkson. Cruz isn't coming back, so Randall's still number 2 wide receiver. Cam
Travis Benjamin, I don't
Newton's
like.
been playing better than anyone expected. Fitzgerald, if anyone's going to score a touchdown against the Rams this week, it should be him. Le'Veon Bell already had a big game. Chris Johnson, even if Ellington does play, I don't think he's going to play that much. Melvin Gordon could finally break out a little bit.
I think I like Hinkson this week too.
And if
You know, I think
Andrew
the
Luck doesn't
underrated-
play, Dante Moncrief doesn't scare me.
You know what the underrated guy is? I think Hinkson has Greg Olsen there, and I think that's a nice little well of points right there.
All right.
So I'm going Hinkson.
Yeah. All right. So I'm in the minority here.
I think so.
All
I'm
right.
going
So
Hinkson too.
2 Hinksons and a BJ. Sounds like my favorite pornos.
Oh,
Next up, me and Joey. Joy.
Joey.
Wait.
Joy.
wait, is Joey from the town?
Joy from the town. Yeah. It's
Okay.
yeah.
Roy, I'm not being a troll. I like Joey. And I'll tell you why. You know what it is, man? It's close. It's close, but I like Joey's receivers.
Yeah, Joey, his top 3
Cooper and
receivers
Allen.
are
I really
legit.
love Cooper and Allen. And then you got Megatron.
He's playing Seattle, which I love. All right, so
Receiver 2, receiver 3. It's close, man. I mean, you guys are very
I
evenly matched up.
can't not take me, but we're going me, and you guys are both going with Joy.
I haven't said anything yet.
Oh,
It's close, man. You guys, it's a good matchup.
I actually think I'm going to go with you because I think Ivory Lacy and Carlos Williams will all put up points.
I like that I have 3 starting running backs this week.
And I think
Potentially
Macklin will have another big game because I think the Chiefs will be down and throwing.
Yeah.
And potentially, if Macklin, the Chiefs kind of figured out Macklin last week a little bit.
I think he's got a good
I think
matchup.
he'll put up some points. And then it really comes down to luck. Andrew Luck, that is. And whether or not he actually plays and if he's efficient. But if he does play, he's playing the Jaguars. He should put up numbers. So I'll take you.
Nice. I like that. I feel the same way. I think it's a toss-up, and I think that...
I'm going to go Joe, but
I think it hinges
do
on
think
luck.
It's
really
close,
hinges on
man.
luck.
You guys are a very even matchup, I think.
All right. That's what we halfway through. We got 3 more matchups to go. Or are we done 4? I think we've done 4, right? 1, 2. Right. Okay. So we got McGraw and Jarman last. Okay.
Which before we talk about this is a big matchup for both these teams. Going 0-4 is a hard hole to dig out.
Yeah, this is like to see who the biggest piece of shit in our league is.
0-4 is a tough hole to get out of. So, what do you think?
If I'm Jarman's team right now, hate that Steve Smith just threw up a duck last night.
Love that Justin Tucker put up 15.
15
right.
points.
So
they kind of even out a little bit.
If you look at it, they literally both got their projected. If you combine those, you're at your projected right now. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to smack the Niners. I don't like Mike Evans against Carolina. I don't like Torrey Smith. Marshawn, that scares me because you have to wait till Monday night to find out if he's even playing. I like your team this week.
I think I would.
Can you start Gurley over Abdullah? Fantasy is opportunity, and Abdullah will get touches. I mean, last week Abdullah touched the ball constantly, whereas Gurley had 6 touches. Dude,
I wouldn't play Gurley yet. I wouldn't play Gurley until you see.
Yeah, I'm
stashing him, man.
All right, so I think I'm taking McGraw in this matchup, and it's not really. I mean, I think your team probably turns it around this week, if not the next couple. Like Peterson's going to be back to being a stud. He already has been, and I think the rest of the team will follow. And I think it's more of just your team is kind of on the upswing, and Dan's got a ton of injuries, and he's got some bad matchups. There's a lot of just running back question marks on Dan's team, and especially if Marshawn Lynch doesn't play, I think I don't want to say you're a lock, but I feel great about the pick, and I think that just Dan's got too many injuries right now.
My vote is also for McGraw in this game.
I need to win.
So are you picking yourself, Ryan McGrady?
I fucking hope so, man. I mean, shit, teams.
What's your pick, Ryan?
I'm picking myself.
All right,
obviously, but
yeah. So all right. So our picks this week are the ones that we are unanimous decision is Paul McGraw, Tom, Phil, and then we differ on my matchup with Joey and BJ's matchup with Hinkson.
Yes.
Good times. All right.
Yeah.